I would like to introduce you to my friend, key resource and sponsor, Vivek Kinra of PPO Profits. Vivek, you can come on the screen. What Vivek does for the dentisting world is too awesome. I'm going to let him share his story, but he has a magic wand to help us. What he charges for this is so unbelievably reasonable. He has worked with numerous Nachoers who, I don't know if Vivek knows this, but he knows since we've talked in person. When I recommend something to a dentist, like you should reach out to Vivek, the dentist does not say, cool, I will do it. They say, first, Paul, I would like to ask you 14 questions through text message. I say, you could ask Vivek. They say, no, I prefer to ask you at 11 p.m. And one special Nacho out there from the West Coast, because people don't realize the time there, was doing this. And I said, just do the Vivek thing. If you don't like it, I will take personal responsibility for it. And this person now has had like a 300% return on his experience with Vivek. He's happier and become a big fan. So I wanted Vivek to tell you and reveal, Vivek, what do you do to help dentists make more money for the rest of their life doing the same thing?
Hey, first of all, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're great.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, fee negotiations. So the checks that you get from insurances for the work that you do, just make them bigger. That's about it. And by the way, just before we get into it, I just wanted to let you know it's cool that you have the guys from Trainwell. I use it. PPO Profits is all set up with Trainwell.
Awesome. See, sponsors, collaborators. It's my whole world, Vivek. And one thing, everyone connected on one Nacho plate. To learn about Vivek, you text HAPPY to 215-543-6454. Now, Vivek, you're part of what you share with us. For a minute, you make insurance checks bigger. You help us negotiate with insurance companies to be paid more for the same thing. You and I have spent hours talking about this, but in a shorter way, share why this happens. You've been on our podcast, The Dental Amigos. We'll link that there. But in a short version, why does dentist A get less than dentist B? New practice owner. Give us a little background on that.
Yeah, I mean, so there's two reasons why dentist A gets paid less or more than dentist B that might literally be in the same building with different suite numbers. Okay, and I have many clients that, I'm not making this up, where they have a dentist in the exact same building, different tax ID, just right next door, right? Two reasons. Dentist A just accepts whatever, doesn't know that there was a way to negotiate, right? And now they're stuck. And the problem is that once you have joined the network, it's extremely challenging for you to renegotiate.
Right.
Even, you'll do it after 2 years and they'll give you 3 to 5% increase when you're back, right? And the second reason is that what people don't realize is the insurance industry is extremely intertwined. It's called network leasing, sharing, etc. So I'll give you a very good example. People just may not know this, and they'll find out because of some silly thing that just happened on September 1st. Aetna and Principal joined hands, which means if you were in network with Aetna, if you were in network with Principal, okay, and not in network with Aetna, now you will automatically become in network with Aetna, right? But they'll pay you on the principal fees. And this morning, I was speaking to a dentist who said, I have a direct contract with Emeritus, but I'm not getting paid that. And when we looked at that, it's because Emeritus joined Aetna in March. Aetna was the lower fee than Emeritus, and Emeritus simply pays the lower fee schedule. So it hurts the dentist. They get really, really, it's a complex system, which they don't know what's going on. So it's just frustrating. So I just kind of demystify that. And once you recognize that, right, there are some things that you can do where, if you're a new dentist and you're a startup, right, and you are, you want to get a network, you don't join Aetna, Principal, and Emeritus, all three. You basically just join the one that's giving you the best fees, right?
What you're saying, Beck, I want to pause you for a second. Is I know so much about what you do and we've become close friends. What you're sharing is such amazing value that if I was a new dentist, I had no idea this existed back in 2005. Just the process, right? Like you could sign up for something and start getting paid less without even knowing it, right? So this is a real challenge. And this happened in our office where insurance companies, they did not raise their fee. They started paying us less. So that's why connecting with someone like Vivek is so important to ask questions. Tell me, I know dentists love details and you can share I think you should charge 3 times as much, Vivek. I know my dentist will get mad at me. You can share your actual fees or just share what they are. They can text and get them. But tell me about the process. I say, all right, Vivek, I trust the Nacho guy. Share with me some stories about Nachoers that you've done stuff for and how this process works, how long it takes, and a little more about that.
Yeah, it's a very good question. And I will say this, and I think it's really probably important for all the, anybody listening, the millions of viewers, right?
Oh, yeah.
That
5 million at least.
5 million, yep, and 2 million dentists, right?
Yeah.
That the, even my company, when you and I, when you pushed me to get started full time in this thing, right? Since then, it's again, when I first got started, I thought I knew what I was doing, but maybe I didn't, right? It's one of those things, I forgot what's that paradox called, right? But the more you know, the more you realize you don't know enough, right?
Yes.
And so over the period of, we're now coming up to like, 20, 22 months or so, right? We have now gotten experience for over 500 clients. We recently had our 500th client start, right, or dentist start, which is, right? So now with experience, we just know the mistakes that we've made, that we've been able to correct, getting ahead of some of that stuff, right? So now when I'm speaking to dentists, what I tell them is extremely different and surprising. The process takes 10 to 15 months, right? It's just a very, very long process. Frustrating process because things change in the middle. The insurance companies move the goalpost. And so we're really playing soccer when the goalpost is moving constantly, right? So one of the, so those are two major, right? But the way to start the process, right? When you get started, we start negotiating the fees. We first build your insurance matrix to see how you are getting paid. Most dentists don't know it, right? They simply, if I talk to a dentist very often in the sales call, I'm like, all right, which insurances are you in network? How are you getting paid? I don't know, right? The front office doesn't know. They send a claim and it gets paid, So, so we first demystify that. And so we call the insurance companies, we get everything from the office and put together what your current system looks like. Then we start negotiating with the insurance companies, direct companies, umbrella companies, shared networks. And then we build a strategy looking at some numbers and saying, well, what if we did this? What if instead of joining principal and emeritus together, why don't we just join principal and become emeritus from principal, et cetera, and you get a 20% increase, et cetera, right? We present it to the dentist, and then we explain to them all the risks, et cetera, that can happen, how long it's going to take, how frustrating it's going to be for your front office team, right? Like I always say this, the front office team of the dentist is going to always hate me for the first 15 months, right?
But the personal training thing fits, Vivek, and I know you've also, have done more fitness and better nutrition. It's not easy in the beginning, but it pays off forever. If I can just dentistify this second, and your awesome wife is a dentist, I mean, you're setting your practice up to do better for decades, and you don't realize some of the challenges you're having now. You pay Vivek and his team a flat fee. Now, I'm a big fan of implants. We talk about implants, right? I could tell every patient that an implant lasts forever. I don't. Calm down, dentist. But if I told every patient an implant lasts forever, I'd have to apologize to like 4 patients. And I would just redo it for those 4 patients. So I could tell people implants last forever, end of story, knowing that a few people it's going to go bad. And I'll just give them a refund of this. I don't say it exactly this, but let's use that with your clients, Vivek. People pay you, you do all this work, you present them with a new fee schedule. How many times out of 100 do they not want to accept that fee schedule?
We have done this now for over 500 times, and a total of 0 providers have said.
Yeah. So Vivek presents you with this, and Vivek, you have such a great customer service Nordstrom model. If someone doesn't like it, you'll refund them minus their processing fee. Is that accurate?
That is correct. We refund them minus $600, right? So we present what the plan is. We walk them through the risks because there's some risks, right? Like you end up dropping some low quality plans here and there, right? And so, and if it turns out, when we present them, we tell them this is what's going to happen. It's not going to be pretty. There's going to be some windows where you're not going to like me. Your front desk is going to swear at me, right? Just know that everything that we're doing is for the long-term benefit. The pain that you're going to have for 3 months is going to cause you to succeed for the next 30 years, et cetera, right? And so once they say, yeah, this sounds great, I understand the risk, and we have gotten better at just managing expectations, right? Like I tell everyone doing a deep filling, this is going to turn into a root canal possibly, right? Like,
yeah, perfect. I like that. Great communication.
So now when they go through with it, right, there's good expectations, and then, yeah, total of 0 providers have said, no, this is not good for me, right? In the fee that we charge, and you're right? Like when we put the numbers together, in my view, I also do a lot of stock trading, investing, I've become that retail Robinhood trader that, blows his money on there, right? But I always say this, there is no investment that a dentist can make that in their life will beat this. It's impossible.
I mean, just pause for a second, because maybe people watch this a decade from now, 10 days from now. What Vivek and his team do is too good, right? We have all these awesome things to make your life less stressful, more successful. But cash flow, as Mark Costa says, oxygen of your practice. You can improve the money you make and invest in your practice forever. And what I do is help dentists sell practices, help other dentists buy practices. And this changing of that practice guard can be a perfect time to make this investment, because you're going to go to work anyway. And Vivek and his team are going to get you paid more to do it. And listen to what he said. 0 out of 500 people did not want Vivek's fee schedule. I'm worried. I mean, Vivek, I'm worried. Is there another one of you? Because if you get too busy, I'm worried. You need to train a clone Vivek to do this. Is that in the works?
Well, we have a good team, right? The good thing is that every single person I've ever hired is still with me, knock on wood. So
that's awesome.
That's been good. And I also tell everyone that because Paul gives my personal responsibility, Paul will refund you the $600.
I'll take it. No problem. You know me, that doesn't bother me 1 second. You can put that on there. I'll be glad to do it, because I know this is the thing. It's been using this theme throughout this thing. It's like the gym and things like that. I'm glad I went. I know I didn't want to go. Now I'm glad I went. So just, Vivek, as you wrap up, how can people reach out to you directly? We have Text Happy to 215-543-645 for your own special Nacho community code. And how can people reach out to you to set up that consultation call?
Well, website, ppoprofits.com. On the top right, there's a button called Schedule a Consult. We do that. Now, there's one thing that I would say, if I still have a minute or so, Paul.
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, generally, I think, Paul, if you know me, if anybody knows me, right, I am not generally, I'm not a salesperson, right? My company doesn't work with sales. Right? We don't have any emails that go into a drip campaign. We don't send you emails or calls. This happens to me all the time, where we talk to a dentist and they get started a month later. I'm like, I have no idea who the dentist is, right? A lot of people call me, hey, we talked 2 weeks ago. I'm like, we just don't have a sales system, right? So I don't ever try to say anything to sell something. But I will say this game is getting tougher and tougher.
Imagine.
Insurance companies post-COVID have become extremely, there are companies like Aetna that have just basically said, don't talk to us, right? And so companies like Delta not being able to go premier in many states, the window's actually closing quite a bit. So all factors combined, in my view, right? A lot of people say, hey, should we wait once the whole COVID thing's blowing over? And my genuine viewpoint is, do it now, get grandfathered in, because I have no idea, right? I don't know if my company will exist 5 years from now. Right?
I appreciate saying that. My director of strategic growth, Brandon, even though he's probably still, recovering from the Eagles' first loss, get your Sam Bradford deal, because Sam Bradford was the last quarterback to get a quarterback deal that was multi-millions of dollars, and the NFL changed it for the quarterbacks after him forever, no matter how good you are. And that can happen with insurance. So if you're watching this now, just find out about what Vivek and his team do. I'm proud to have you as a friend, Vivek. I'm even more proud to have your wife as a friend. She's better than you anyway. So I'm glad I got you, and you're awesome kids. So appreciate it. If you stick around for a few minutes, we'll bring all the sponsors on at the end and share a little bit. But thanks so much for being on.
Thank you.